everyone, welcome back to the channel and welcome to the beginning of a new reaction series. Today I'm going to be watching, reviewing, and reacting to Season 1, Episode 1 of the Netflix original, Dark. Now, this series came very highly recommended to me, and in particular it was recommended by the same person who I must credit for introducing me to both The Expanse and Penny Dreadful, which, as you know if you've been a fan of the channel and if you've been on Patreon, because that's where Penny Dreadful is exclusive to, are two shows that I've come to absolutely love and rank pretty highly up on my list of favorite shows of all time. So with this being recommended and given such high praise by her, I had to give it a shot, definitely. So just quickly before I get started here today, as just a heads up, and some of you may be disappointed about this, but I am going to be watching with the English dubbing, at least for the first couple of episodes. This same person had strongly suggested to me that I do this because of the idea that it's kind of hard to pay attention to the actual acting and to see kind of the subtleties and of what's going on, and apparently that's fairly important in this series if you're also trying to read all the subtitles. And that is something that I've noticed in the past in shows I've watched. And I'm not generally a fan of dubbing for the most part, so I needed to be convinced a bit, but she said that the dubbing is actually much better in this than on a lot of things. They took a lot of care with to still kind of show emotions. So I'm going to give it a try for the first couple episodes at least with the English dubbing. And again, I do apologize if that's not really your thing, but I don't want to miss a bunch of stuff because I'm focused on reading all the subtitles. So we're gonna give this a go. I don't know too much about this other than, you know, the basic stuff it says in the descriptor on Netflix and what I've been told in the series being sold to me. I've heard that a lot of people have compared it to Stranger Things, but that I was told that that's really not a good comparison and that they're actually very different, and that I'll see when I get into it. So very curious, but excited to get started here. So let's get going with episode 1, alright? Dark, episode 1, here we go. He's about to kill himself. Do not open. Alright, and so this, based on that picture, is the son of the man who we just saw kill himself. And there was a very specific time. Do not open your note before. Nightmares, night sweats. I feel you on that, man.
As my therapist, shouldn't you tell me?
So you're taking your meds?
I think he's trying to tell me something. Or maybe I just want him to tell me something.
What do you think that might be?
What do I think it might be? Why? Why you left? Why like that? Why he fucking hanged himself? And why he didn't leave a word? Nothing to explain this fucking crap!
So I guess he doesn't know about the do not open until that is right there.
Don't call the emergency number, okay?
I saw something in the woods again. This time I saw it very clearly. A dark figure with a gigantic-looking head. You don't believe me? There are some things out there that our little minds can't understand. Things things we can't comprehend. And this, I found this in the forest.
Okay.
Mads loved those. You know this whole business with that missing kid, Eric? It's like your brother back then. Everything's repeating itself. Everything's like it was 33 years ago.
So 33 years ago, his brother disappeared, and now there's another kid that's disappeared.
It's gonna happen again. It's gonna happen again. It's gonna happen again.
Ooh. That's the kid that's missing. There's some crazy room with some 80s TV and 80s music. Alright, so he didn't just run away, clearly.
Total bull.
The power's out again. You know, if you want us out of the house, just say so. You know, your grandson hasn't seen you in over 3 months. Do you think Michael would have wanted that? It's sick. You're sick.
No, his mother has the "don't open until" letter. But Will's... Oh yeah, she's gonna open it. She's waiting. She's counting down. And that his wife and son didn't know about its existence somehow, I guess.
It's just what happened last summer.
It's really okay. What is it?
I just had a deja vu. The light, the forest. It's as if it's all happened before.
A glitch in the Matrix.
Huh?
If the world's a simulation, then a deja vu is a glitch in the Matrix.
Or a message from the other side. I read that somewhere. Sure, I'm glad you're back.
So, were they actually dating? Because if so, you know, how do you hook up with your friend's person
Ultimate fist bump?
when you know he's off in a mental institution?
back then.
Relax, guys. I'm not a baby anymore.
What's this idiot doing here?
Ow!
Hey, only I can do that.
Ouch!
Well, let's go.
What would you give me for it?
An ass kicking?
What's in here is easily worth 500, but I'll let you have it for 200. Your dad has a lot of money.
Cut the bullshit.
Jeez,
Yeah,
dude.
now it's mine.
This guy's kind of an asshole, huh? Pushing people
Jackpot.
over. Going after your institutionalized friend's girlfriend.
Someone over there?
Yeah, there is.
Oh, shit. The fuck is this?
You should probably get away from Creepy Cave.
What's wrong with you? The fucking flashlights? Run! Run! Move!
Yes.
Go! Come on! Where's Mickle? Where's Mickle? He's not with you? He was with you! Mickle! Mickle!
a little kid. Well, that's her son. What happened to his face?
It's not Michael. It's not Michael.
'80s room. I'm assuming that is something to do with the burns. That's the ending. Or, you know, if that was burns on the dead kid's eyes. I mean, it looked like ash. Like there had been burning, but maybe. But I'm assuming that had something to do with it. But alright, well, that's the first episode, and I feel like I'm gonna have to go back and watch that again in order to try and pick up on all of the various pieces that were presented here, because it seemed to me as though there was lots of little things that suggested kind of whatever weird situation is going on here. There's lots of little things that need to be thought about, and I don't want to necessarily miss any of them. So we've got this kind of small community town area, and it seems as though, alright, there's a lot of pieces here, and so you've got the main, or it seems like, okay, I don't know if the main person is the Jonas, or if it's the cop person Ulrich. They both seem to be pretty significant. But you've got the father of Jonas had killed himself, and so he left this really crazily specific note that wasn't supposed to be opened until a particular date and time, which just so happened to be the same time as the group of friends was approaching the cave, and all their flashlights went out, and there was crazy noises, and the son of Ulrich disappeared, went nowhere, and then when they were searching for him, they found some other dead kid. So there's that crazy note is one part of the kind of mystery of what in the world is going on and why it had that particular time. And then, of course, you know, obviously what happened to the kid, how does it relate to the other dead kid? How does it relate to the first, the teenage boy who had disappeared, who we see in the end is in this 80s room getting that some contraption put on him that may be somehow related to the kid who is dead. Yeah, so how does that tie together? And then we also have the guy walking around saying things like, it's happening again, and then after we see that the boy, Ulrich's son, goes missing, he's saying it's too late to stop it now. So there's that, and then of course we have Ulrich's mother trying to say that she sees similarities with something that happened, which was the disappearance of his brother in the past. So, and then of course we're seeing multiple like references to time throughout this, even going back to the first sentence. So I'm assuming there's something about like cyclical events in time, but I really don't know. I think it's going to take a lot longer for me to kind of sort of piece together and all what's going on. This was mostly, it seems like a foundational get to know the main characters episode, while also laying the groundwork for, I guess, what's going to be part of the central mystery is what is happening to these kids who are disappearing. Yeah, so I'll be curious to find out. Some of the things that I touched upon was the shittiness of Jonas's one friend, but overall his entire family dynamic seems to be in not a great place. He's been institutionalized and is taking drugs as mental health drugs as a consequence of his father's suicide. You know, his father committed suicide, and then it seems that his grandmother saw there was this note with this crazy message, and she took it and kind of disappeared and went off on her own, leaving him and his mother alone, and his mother is having an affair with the father, with Ulrich, who is the father of one of his friends, and the disappeared kid, and his apparent former girlfriend, who his shitty friend tried to steal away. So yeah, it seems like a complicated dynamic situation there. But it does seem like a kind of small town environment. Everybody's kind of connected. Everyone really knows each other to some extent. I guess I can sort of see why some people would say that they want to compare it to Stranger Things, since they're both Netflix shows. They both seem to be dealing with like various kind of supernatural or otherworldly kind of elements, strange events. There's mystery involved, and then there's collections of like, say, teenagers, young people who are involved in some ways, and in a small town. So I could see that, but the feel of it so far is very different, and not just the fact that, you know, the dead kid being there and the suicides and all that sort of stuff, and there's clearly not the level of kind of humor that is really trying to be presented in Stranger Things. It seems like a very different sort of overall atmosphere. It kind of, watching it, the feeling I get is almost like watching old episodes of The X-Files when I was a kid, when they were on like really late at night and I'd be in bed, and you know, it kind of gives you that like what is happening, creeped out feeling, and just the way that it's filmed with the colors and the environment around it, the rain and everything. But then of course it's also going to be very different than that, you can tell, because it's very revolving around these various families, characters, but that was the kind of feel that I got at first, which is very different from Stranger Things to me. But yeah, it was very good. I'm very curious to see where we're going. There's a lot of mystery to parse through here, and a lot of characters to get to know, so I'm excited to see how this develops going forward. If you think there's anything important that I didn't touch upon, that I missed, that you want to comment on, please do feel free to do that. But again, watch out for spoilers. Don't give any mystery away. Yeah, alright. Well, thank you very much for joining me for this first episode. I'm looking forward to going on this journey of what will surely be an interesting series with you. Hopefully I'll see you next time for episode 2. Bye.